see if anybody showed up at our event.
Yesterday, the world lost a deeply controversial but undeniably influential figure. Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, activist, commentator, and public speaker, was shot and killed at Utah Valley University while engaging in one of his signature campus events. No matter what you thought of Charlie Kirk's politics, whether you admired him or opposed him, his death is not a victory for any side. It is a tragedy. And tonight, I want to reflect on it not as an American partisan, but as a Canadian who believes deeply in democracy, dialogue, and the dignity of human life. Charlie Kirk was only 31 years old. He had a wife, a family, colleagues, and countless people who followed his work. Beyond the headlines and the political clashes, he was a son, a friend, and to many, a leader. Too often when political figures die, we reduce them to symbols, either martyrs or villains. But in the face of such violence, the first step is simple humanity. A life has been lost, and a family is grieving. As Canadians, we understand the importance of starting there, because when we forget that our opponents are people first, tragedy becomes easier to justify, and that is a road we cannot go down. Charlie Kirk was divisive. He courted controversy, and he thrived in debate. People clashed with him on almost every issue you can name: immigration, education, religion, culture. But disagreement, even fierce disagreement, is supposed to be part of democracy. That's the deal. We argue with words. We challenge with ideas. We persuade at the ballot box. The moment violence enters the picture, when someone decides that a gunshot is the final rebuttal, democracy itself suffers. Because if one voice can be silenced in that way, then no voice is safe. This is a bridge too far, and once crossed, it's almost impossible to uncross. From a Canadian perspective, it's hard not to feel both grief and worry watching this unfold. We've had our share of political tensions, trucker convoys, debates over oil and climate, even threats made against politicians. But when moments like this happen south of the border, they remind us of the precious balance we have. We argue fiercely in Parliament. We split families at the dinner table over politics. But after the argument, we shovel each other's driveways. We hold the door at Tim Hortons. We share the same winters, the same hockey rivalries, and the same hope that tomorrow we can disagree again without fear. That glue, that quiet Canadian civility, is fragile. And what happened to Charlie Kirk is a stark reminder. Once violence becomes acceptable, that glue can break. There's another part of this we need to face honestly. Already online, some people are treating this not as a tragedy, but as some kind of justice. That is dangerous. No matter how much you oppose Charlie Kirk's views, his death is not a win. Celebrating violence against an opponent is the first step toward normalizing it. And history shows us, from Ireland to Rwanda to even Canada's own difficult moments, that once normalized, violence spreads far beyond the first target. It does not stop at the person you hated. It grows. It swallows communities whole. Today, Charlie Kirk's family mourns. His supporters mourn. And yes, even those who opposed him should feel the weight of this loss. Because what died yesterday wasn't just one man's voice, but a little piece of the principle that every voice, no matter how much we dislike it, deserves the chance to speak. That means we all share a responsibility. Leaders, media, ordinary citizens, to resist the pull of demonization, to stop short of language that makes opponents seem less than human. Because when words strip away humanity, violence is never far behind. As a Canadian, I don't have to agree with Charlie Kirk to grieve his death. I don't have to share his politics to see that his murder is a wound on democracy itself. This tragedy reminds us of something simple but profound. Our strength is not in our ability to destroy those we oppose, but in our ability to live with them, argue with them, and still share the same society. Charlie Kirk's death is a moment for mourning, for reflection, and hopefully for recommitting ourselves to the culture where words, not weapons, carry the day. Because once violence enters the conversation, there's no conversation left. Changed my mind.